Engage in a Family Gaming Podcast.
Hello everybody and welcome to Engage, a family gaming podcast. This is episode 112 and I am your host, Stephen Dutzman. This is the official video game and board game podcast for EngageFamilyGaming.com. EFG is a website where parents like myself and my co-hosts come together to give parents and families the information they need to get their family game on. This week, where things are back to normal, and I am joined by my lovely, not feeling so well wife, Jenna.
Hello, everybody.
Also, my lactose intolerant wife, who just chugged 2 giant glasses of whole milk. So if you hear anything funny, folks, play it back for your 11-year-old because they'll definitely laugh.
Are you really? Thanks.
Yeah, that's how I roll.
I love you, honey. Thank you so much.
That was largely so you couldn't blame me. Anyway, so
that means you're going to try and get away with stuff and then blame me.
Nope, I would never do that. That
is a lie.
That is a rude accusation.
Oh my goodness gracious, you are lying.
I cannot believe you would insinuate that I would do something like that. So, folks, last couple of weeks we've done a whole bunch of stuff, right? So we went to PAX Unplugged. We had the Infinite co-host come back. He talked about BlizzCon with me. And we even had, back in episode 109, if you haven't caught it yet, I would recommend you go listen. My mom was on the episode, and that was super nice. I think she did a great job. What do you think, Jen?
Absolutely.
So, and you're not just saying that because she's your mother-in-law. You actually legitimately do believe she did well. So here we are. It's episode 112. We're back in the office, as it were, and we're down to business. The video game releases have slowed down. There's not a whole lot going on. But we did have a pretty significant video game release this past week, which we're going to talk about in Around the Horn. Both of us have spent an irresponsible, I think, amount of time playing Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. In fact, my wife may or may not be logging into her camp to check on it as we speak. And we have Super Mario Odyssey came out, and so we can talk about that a little bit. We also want to talk about the Game Awards, because as we know, I love to make predictions, and we always love to see how wrong I am, so my wife is very excited to see that. But before we get too far into that, Jenna, how excited are you that we've got our giveaway going on?
I am very excited about our giveaway. I was surprised. I didn't know that we were going to be doing this big of a giveaway. There's a lot of stuff.
But aren't you glad that all this stuff is going to be getting out of the house soon? I mean, you got to be pretty happy about some of that.
I am, and I'm happy our children will stop fighting over what they think that they're going to get out of the stuff that they're not actually getting.
They have gotten plenty. So I'm really not feeling all that guilty for them. However, you're right. It'll be nice. So here's how it works, folks. People loved our Nintendo Switch giveaway back this summer when we went to E3. I think that was a great way to celebrate 4 years and to celebrate being invited to go to E3. But people loved it so much that we're hungry. We want to do it again. So here we are. We are going to... we're going to be hopping on over and giving away another one. But the only problem with the last giveaway we did, Jenna, was there was only one winner, right? Like, we gave away one lousy Nintendo Switch to some guy that had 3 kids. Now, he was super excited. In fact, he thought that our Switch, him winning, he thought it was spam. I had to actually promise him that I was a real person. But I was a little disappointed. We had a lot of people, folks that were sad that they didn't win. So what are we doing? We're going to have 4 more winners. Now, we are a small site. We just plain can't give away 5 Switches. That's crazy talk. But we do have a bunch of other stuff. In fact, we have some sponsors. Number one, we were sponsored by Yana Guana Games, who gave us a little card game called Takeout 18. And we were sponsored by IDW Games, who is sending us several board games that we don't even have for our picture. And what we'll be doing is we will be giving away the Switch to one winner, along with one of the Odyssey visors that if you go to our Facebook page, you can see a video with me wearing. And then we'll be putting together 4 giveaway gift baskets that are going to include a smattering of the swag that we have gotten at our various conventions this year, be it PAX, be it E3, HasCon, etc. We also have some board games from Restoration Games. We've got Stop Thief, we have Downforce, we have Codenames, and we have Saikatsu, which is coming soon. They're sending IDW is sending a copy of Saikatsu along with a couple other games to give away. And as I said, IDW is one of our sponsors for our giveaway. So we also have 2 copies of the Crash Bandicoot Insane Collection. That's 3 remakes of all of the classic Crash Bandicoot games. They're going to be divided up. We're going to have 4 more happy winners. Maybe they'll be a little disappointed they didn't win the Switch, but they're not going to be super unhappy because they've got other stuff to do. So that is that's our giveaway. How cool is that?
It's very cool. There's a lot of lanyards too, just so you know.
We do have, every basket's going to be guaranteed to have a lanyard in it, so that if you go to a convention, you'll have something. We'll try and make it cool. We got some Tonka ones, we got a Nintendo one, we got some Mixer ones, we have 2 HasCon ones, we got some Gears of War 2. I think that's all we got.
Halo Wars.
We got, that's what I said. Oh, did I say?
You said Gears of War, but that's okay.
I meant Halo Wars. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. So, that's our giveaway. So the way you enter, you may ask, go to engagefamilygaming.com/giveaways. That's GIVEAWAYS. Right? That's how you spell giveaways?
Yes.
My wife just gave me a look like I was spelling it wrong. So it's giveaways. So engagefamilygaming.com/giveaways, and you'll find the link there. It is an article. Enter the stuff. You will have the option to leave comments on that page, etc., etc., etc. It will be pretty cool. There are 10 ways to enter, and one of the ways is you can refer a friend. And as is the case from last time, you get infinity entries for referring people. So if they enter, you get entries. So go for it. Share it on your Facebook, your Twitter, etc., etc. So that's the giveaway. We're going to talk about that. It is running until December 20th. So pay attention to our social media channels for all kinds of reminders. So let's go around the horn. Shall we?
Sure.
Well, I know you've been eyeing VGReleaselist.com. Was there anything that was on that caught your interest?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's always things that catch my interest on here, but the thing that I am most excited about, our son, for his birthday, we talked about this a little bit, just got a new 3DS or 2DS XL Pokeball edition. Now there is a new Nintendo new 3DS XL Super NES edition.
Yep.
That's coming out on Monday. Actually, just came out tonight then.
It is coming out as of the day that we are recording this. We're recording a little bit late. We had a very busy holiday weekend. So, yeah, it's neat. It looks like a Super Nintendo. The buttons on the inside. In Europe, the version was a little bit better because it included the Famicom colors. So it had, like, multicolored buttons and things like that. But that's a small complaint. It's pretty neat.
It's pretty cool.
The next real big quote unquote game for us that I'm excited about is Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which comes out this Friday. It is T-rated. It's very, very anime, so that means what you think it means for the women's clothing. So I don't know that this is necessarily going to be one for the younger set. However, it's something to look into. What we're getting close to, there is the Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition, which I think that comes out, when is that? I think December 5th, so next Tuesday. I think that for those folks that have been waiting, it includes the DLC that just recently came out, the Frozen Wilds, and it's at a relatively budget price because it's $50. So if you've been waiting on that game and you didn't buy it on Black Friday sale because it was cheap in a few places, that's not a bad place to get it. And shortly thereafter, we are there are some small indie games that are coming, which are kind of neat. However, the big one is on December, I want to say it's the 12th. Yes, December 12th, and that is Okami HD. Now, that's coming out to PS4 and Xbox One, and I believe PC.
Yep.
That is probably one of the most gorgeous games you're going to look at today. It's very, very painterly, almost watercolor style. You're playing as you play as a wolf god in Japanese mythology, Amaterasu specifically, and you play through a very Zelda-like quest. It's the best Zelda game not made for a Nintendo platform. And it's going to be, I think, $20. I'm looking forward to that one. That's going to be great. And that's December 12th. That's what this is I think this is going to be a great game for, if you have kids that are really hungry to play Legend of Zelda, but you don't have a Switch, maybe you have a PS4 and Xbox One. This is a very similar experience. So this is a good trial run. Maybe spend $20 or have somebody give them a gift card for the PlayStation Network, play Okami HD, and if they really dig it, like if they play that and they just eat it up, then maybe Breath of the Wild and a Switch would be worth it for next year if you're not in there. So that's Okami HD. I can't wait. I played about half of it when it first came out. I borrowed it from somebody. Cannot wait to actually play it for real. So that's the upcoming releases. Before we go too much farther, I do want to thank everybody for listening. We are trying to make our podcast as interactive as possible. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, if you want to yell at me for making a rude comment to my wife, I'm sure she would love the support. You can do that in a number of ways. You can reach out to us on social media. You can also join our Facebook community, engagefamilygaming.com/community, and join in on the fun. So, and you can always email me, editor@engagefamilygaming.com. So, I think the first thing we should do is go around the horn, because there is a pocket camp-sized, pocket camp-sized elephant in the room. And that's Animal Crossing. And there's, in fact, an elephant in that game named Eloise. So Jenna, what do you think?
Okay,
you have never been an Animal Crossing chick before.
I've never played Animal Crossing before, because I don't play a lot of video games. But you played it on your phone, and our daughter came up to me and asked me if I would download it for her. So I said, sure, I'll download it. I mean, I've seen Animal Crossing before. I've seen our boys play. My son put random things in a house in Happy Home Designer, and they fought over toilet bowls and things like that. So, and bells. I didn't know what it was. So I downloaded it on my phone, and my daughter loved it. My campsite threw up pink. It looks like Pepto-Bismol and bubblegum had a war, because she's 5 and it's ridiculous. But it's very cute. It's very easy to play. It is what I wanted, or what it felt like when I downloaded Pokemon Go. I was super excited. I could, catch Pokemon. I had a little game that I could play, log into when I wanted, put it away. And then they changed it, and we live in a rural area, and I can't get Pokemon anymore. So that game kind of became obsolete unless we are traveling somewhere that is a little bit more urban than our area. Anyways, this is going to do, I hope, what I really wanted Pokemon Go to do. It gives me a game that I can log into, play for a few minutes, complete a bunch of quests, put away, come back to, and play again later. I mean, in this so far, it seems to be living up to it. Now, granted, I had it on the holiday weekend was when we got it, and I was home quite a bit more than I normally am. So I was able to go around, and there's little campsites and villages, little areas that you go to, and you collect resources from those areas. You gather fruit from the trees, and you fish in the river, and you collect shells from the ocean, and bugs from the island, and there's all kinds of little resources that you collect. And then you give these resources to the various cute little animals that visit these campsites, and you get rewards for that.
Yep.
I was able to collect quite a few more resources over the few days that I was home than I was now that I'm back to work in the real world, and I can't log on and play throughout the course of the day. So you kind of get a little bit stuck where you've gathered as many resources as you can, you've given out as much as you can do, and then there's not much more you can do for another 3 hours until the game changes again. And it does change right now they're looking at, it looks like the characters, the little animal characters and the resources all reset themselves every 3 hours. And it doesn't matter where you live or where you are, you can play the game, which is what I really like about it. So that's my Animal Crossing story so far.
Yeah, you know what? I noticed that too. I mean, you really kind of got into it, and you know what was great about it is that the controls are simple enough that even our youngest was able to, kind of run around and do stuff and enjoy seeing a character that kind of looks like her in that world. Even if she was only, catching butterflies every once in a while and things like that.
And there is a social aspect to the game, whereas you can have friends and share your friend code, but you can't actually communicate verbally with any of those friends. So there's no danger to my daughter playing and having my Facebook friends on the game with them. The most that she can do is spend in-game bells, giving them gifts and giving them kudos, they call it, clapping their hands and saying, "Ooh, cute campsite."
Yeah.
No risk, no danger, no nothing like that.
Agreed. So one of the things that I will say is for fans, there were a lot of folks when this game was announced that were concerned that this was going to be really different, and that it was going to be kind of that they were going to free to play their way out of a legitimate Animal Crossing experience, and I am happy to report that that is not the case. You can spend real life money. That is a thing. You can buy these things called leaf tickets that you can use to buy certain cosmetic items, as well as to speed up the manufacturing process for amenities for your campsite, like couches and fences, etc. But that's it. I've spent a bunch of leaf tickets, but you get a fair number of them by playing. So as long as you're careful, you can earn a pretty significant number of them in the beginning just by completing quests every day and doing your work. You get a reasonable number just for connecting your My Nintendo account. So, I mean, as long as you're not crazy, you can certainly stretch them out a fair amount, but they're not super inexpensive, so I really don't think, if you're playing a lot, I don't think that it's unreasonable to buy a few. But I have not felt compelled to spend real money, because I've just been saving my leaf tickets from completing quests and everything like that. Big fan of that. So, but I'm also happy to say that it is a full-fledged Animal Crossing experience. It is simpler, but you are running around collecting resources to give them to people in town, and then having people come visit you, and that's pretty cool. So I am, I'm certainly going to keep playing this game more than some of the other Nintendo games. I'm sure that it is going to die down, where you're not going to see it everywhere. But even if that happens, I'm not super worried about it. I think this is a winner.
It's no different than any of the other mobile games, except for it has obviously the Animal Crossing theme that we've played before. I mean, there was, back when our middle child was very young, he had a pony one. Ponyvale, a little village that he took, and then there was Dragonvale, and I mean it's kind of a village and resource gathering game. There's lots of mobile apps out there like that. It's cute. It's Nintendo themed, and if you like Animal Crossing, our kids say it's very similar to many of the Animal Crossing games that they've played. And it's funny because they both play this game. Evan, our oldest, plays it on his phone. Our middle child plays it on our iPad, and my daughter has her version on my phone. And each and every single one of them has gone about playing the game very differently. Yeah. One of them is very conservative about what he spends his bells and his leaf tickets on. The other one is just buying everything that he wants. Yep. And my daughter just wants to run around and tap on all the things and collect all the things. And she gets real mad when the resources are gone. So it's, you can play it your own way. So yeah, that's been my around the horn. I'm not much of a mobile app mobile game player. I like playing board games on my phone. But this is fun. This gives me something to do that I can do kind of quickly, quietly, put away, and move on.
Yeah, no, that's one of the things that I really like about it is that, you have to run around and give your, turn in your quests and give the stuff to all the, different critters around at the various different sites. But, once you do that, you're kind of done. There's not a lot to do. So it's great to be able to just kind of pop in, get something accomplished, and play, and then get out. And then, kind of go about your day. Huge fan of that. So beyond that, it's free, and it runs on just about every modern mobile device. I know it's out on Android and iOS. We have it running on a relatively old iPad Air.
Yeah.
Or iPad Mini rather. So it runs. It chugs a little bit on that, but it's not that bad. So yeah, I mean, you get to dress up your character too, which is kind of neat. I'm still angry that I haven't found glasses, so I can try and make myself. But what are you gonna do? I got a cool boater hat, so.
It's interesting. My character looks exactly like my 5-year-old, so.
It really does.
It's creepy.
It's borderline disturbing.
But anyways, it's a fun little. What was I going to say? Can't remember what I was going to say about why before you talked about dressing up your characters.
It's a fun little time waster. There's no way around it. I mean, you're tapping through it right now while we're recording a podcast. So that is Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. It's available now. And I know that they're going to be updating it regularly. So that.
That's what I was going to say. It doesn't seem to chug data like Pokemon Go did. It doesn't seem to suck my battery dead or anything like that. It seems to be a little bit more of a.
Well, keep in mind, Pokemon Go was using your
GPS while it was out.
Yeah, I mean, it was using your GPS. So I mean, that's different. That was gonna eat a lot, but.
Right, but I'm just saying, it's nice that it is a game that Nintendo's put out, and it has way more of an engagement factor. They put out, what was it, Super Mario Run?
Yes.
And I could care less.
Well,
it was fun for a little while.
But you're not a Mario gal.
I'm not, and I didn't buy I played the full version on your phone, but I didn't buy it for my own. This is way more entertaining than that was to me.
That doesn't surprise me. So yeah, that's it. Animal Crossing. If you want to see some of our escapades, you can find some of that on our Instagram account because I've been posting pictures just about every day and will probably continue to do so just because I think it is just too darn cute. And if you were wondering, our Instagram username is Engaged Family Gaming. Huge surprise there. So, I have continued my quest to play through Mario. I have completed the storyline. So I'm about 200 moons in. I want to tell you folks, this game there's a lot of game here. Our review is coming soon, but, before I even get down to writing it, let me just tell you, if you own a Switch, and you don't, for whatever reason, absolutely despise platforming games, this is a must-own. So don't necessarily wait for the review unless you just want to read what I have to say. But yeah, it is a must-own. It's so good. Just so fun, so beautiful. The music is amazing. The controls are great. So that's Mario Odyssey. Can't recommend it enough. Also, for those of you that enjoyed Horizon Zero Dawn, the expansion is out, The Frozen Wilds, and it is very good. It's about $20, $15 if you have PlayStation Plus, and it is it's a new questing area with a new tribe and new quests. It is more of the game, so this is how I would recommend it. If you loved Horizon Zero Dawn and are just hungry for more Horizon Zero Dawn, buy it because it's more Horizon Zero Dawn. If you were good, you enjoyed it, and maybe you aren't looking for more of that experience, maybe you just want the sequel because you want something different, then pass on it because it is more of the same. Which for me, that's great because I enjoyed the first one a lot, and I really like the idea of a new one. And so, but if you're not hungry for more of what that gameplay was, then maybe pass on it because I don't think it's changing the world. I did get my face punched in by a giant flaming robot bear thing the first second I stepped into it, which was kind of cute. It was not Pooh Bear.
No,
it was definitely not Pooh Bear.
I did not see you play it, so
it punched me in the face a lot. So it was great. So those are just some of the games, and we've got a few more coming up. Xenoblade and Okami, and man, lots more Animal Crossing. So that's it for Around the Horn. Why don't we take a break, and we'll come back, and we'll talk about the Game Awards.
Sounds good to me.
See you in a minute, folks. All right, everybody, welcome back to Engage, a family gaming podcast. It is still episode 112. I am still joined by my lovely wife, Jenna, and we're still talking about video games. Oh, I never said that we were talking about video games this week. You think people got the hint?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
I know I promised people that I would tell them what I was talking about, but here we are talking about video games. Now, December 6th, which is next week, by the way, is the Game Awards, which is Jenna's least favorite night of the year because I take over the television and I get grouchy and I watch the Game Awards and I get grouchy because I make predictions and I'm always wrong. But I'm always going to do them because they're the fun part of doing this. It's like when my fantasy football team does bad. I just get a little grouchy. So what I thought I would do is go through some of the nominees, some of the categories.
Well, where are the Game Awards going to be aired this year?
They're going to be all over the internet, so you can be able to see them on. I would recommend the folks just go to YouTube or Twitch. And just search for them there. They're going to be December 6th. I will do a live show to kind of talk about some of the things that we know right before the show goes live. One of the things that I know is that there are going to be some announcements because they have there have always been some pretty significant announcements and trailers and first looks. So hopefully we'll see some pretty neat stuff.
Who's the host going to be?
It's going to be Jeff Keighley, as usual. Because this is not the VGAs of before where they had celebrity stunt guests. This is Jeff Keighley running the show. I love the way they've done the Game Awards the last couple of years. Hopefully they'll keep going. So basically the nominees were all voted on by members of the press, internationally, etc. We were not part of that, but maybe someday soon when we get big enough. So what I thought I would do is go through some of the categories. I'm not going to go through all of them. The list is huge, but we'll go through the ones that are relevant to us and that I think are pretty interesting. But I'm going to start with the Game of the Year. Okay. Because I'm kind of the most excited about this category, and we're just going to go with it. There are 5 nominees for Game of the Year, and I think all of them, I think 4 of those 5 are actually are more than deserving. The nominees are The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Persona 5, Horizon Zero Dawn, and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Now, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, we don't talk about it on the show because it's a shooter. It's an interesting concept. 100 people are airdropped onto an island. It's the same island every time, and they have no weapons. So they have to find weapons, find armor, and survive each other. But to prevent people from just kind of hiding like in a bush on the corner of the island, it does the Hunger Games thing where slowly it makes people it forces people into the center of the island. That part changes because it's not the exact center. And it is like every night 2 million concurrent players, which with the exception of like MMO at its peak, that's pretty darn good. It's the most played game on Steam. It's the most streamed game on Switch, or not on Switch, on Twitch. If they could make it run on Switch, I'm sure they would. But it's going to be a Microsoft exclusive the end of this year. It's not finished yet. It has not actually left early access, which troubles me. It's also really janky, so I don't really understand why it could win. Fortunately, I don't think it will, because it's up against The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Super Mario Odyssey, and Horizon Zero Dawn. Persona 5 is an amazing game. It is not for us. It has some very mature themes. But if someone told me that Persona 5 won, I would not be surprised. It is a amazingly beautiful game. Probably the most stylish game I've ever seen, just with the way everything works. My pick is Horizon Zero Dawn, and this is why. I think The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey are going to split the Nintendo vote just enough that Horizon will be able to push through. That is my prediction.
Well, I agree that it's going to be Horizon Zero Dawn. I think Breath of the Wild is probably a better game, but that's just me. However, I still think that Nintendo unfortunately carries the stigma of being a system designed for babies, and that their games are not challenging enough. And while there are lots of true Nintendo fans out there and tons of Legend of Zelda fans, I don't think it was enough. I think Horizon Zero Dawn just had more of a broader base of people that played it.
Well, it is worth noting that this is not voted by popular vote. This is all voted on by press. But I still think...
Okay, well, if it's not popular vote, then I don't think Breath of the Wild got anything less than top marks from any press article that I've read.
All three, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, and Horizon Zero Dawn, were reviewed exceptionally well. But if we want to throw reviews in, Persona 5 was also reviewed exceptionally well. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, in general, hasn't been reviewed yet because it's not finished.
All right, so I'm torn. I would bet that it's going to be Horizon Zero Dawn, but my heart says to go with Breath of the Wild. So, I don't know. Okay. Do I have to choose?
I am choosing Horizon Zero Dawn. That is my vote.
Okay, next.
Okay, so I'll skip Best Game Direction, even though Mario Odyssey, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Horizon Zero Dawn were all nominated in that category. Best Narrative is mostly dominated by games that are not for children, but Horizon Zero Dawn was nominated there. Best Art Direction, the nominees are Destiny 2, Cuphead, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Persona 5, and Horizon Zero Dawn. I actually, my prediction is probably going to be Persona 5. Just based on the anime art style on this and just some of the other stuff, I think it'll be great. I would love to see Cuphead win, just because of the hand animation, but you know, I don't know that that'll actually happen.
I don't think a lot of people. That sounds really silly to say. I don't think a lot of people. Again, it's media. Knew about Cuphead. Like, it's not like a...
Oh, no. It sold millions of copies within, the first day.
And it's really cool looking. I don't feel like it's talked about enough. Like I've heard all of the other ones talked about. I haven't really heard Cuphead talked about. I saw it in a lot of the video game news, and I saw it in a lot of the magazines and stuff that we
You're right,
get.
but kids aren't talking about it.
Kids aren't talking about it. So and neither are their parents. So
very possible. So one thing that is neat, and I'm not going to list the nominees because most of our audience would not necessarily know who they are. However, 5 nominees for best performance, only one dude. All other nominees were females. Melinda Juergens for, I'll just say it, Melinda Juergens for Hellblade, Laura Bailey, and Claudia Black, who were the 2 leads in Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. Brian Bloom is the lone male nominee. He was B.J. Blazkowicz in Wolfenstein 2, and Ashley Birch, who was Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn. I would love for Ashley Birch to win because she was, I loved her voice acting in that. I thought she was a super believable character, but we will have to see what happens because all of them were very well voice acted. So games for impact. Now this is an interesting. This is reading some of the text. It says this is games nominated for a thought-provoking game with a profound pro-social meaning or message. So. Some of the highlights here, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice was made by Ninja Theory. This is a game that was built around highlighting and speaking to mental health issues. You play a character who is insane, and every part of the game's design makes you second guess everything as though you were insane. There is a game... and I hesitate to call it a game even though it is a game. It is a mobile game called Bury Me, My Love. And I will say this, this is not for children. However, if you have a teenager who plays games and doesn't understand the Syrian refugee crisis, I would recommend that you have them play Bury Me, My Love. I deleted the app after a few minutes because I'm a crier, folks, and this is rough. The game follows a couple as they escape Syria as refugees, and you communicate with each other via text message, and it's choose your own adventure type novel, and at one point you get separated, and you can only communicate with each other via text. Yikes. Beautiful hand-drawn art, touching story. I'm a crier, folks, so I didn't even make it. It was almost it was like That Dragon Cancer the year before. Like, I couldn't. So I would like to see that one win. I think that would be a pretty good thing. They add a new category for Best Ongoing Game. That is an award that is awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. So the nominees are Warframe, Rainbow Six Siege, Overwatch, Grand Theft Auto Online, Destiny 2, and PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. So
my call is between Overwatch and Destiny 2.
Those are good calls. I think PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, the only reason I don't think that it will win this year is because they haven't,
it's not done yet.
It's not done yet. But Grand Theft Auto Online, this is something that we don't talk about GTA a lot on our podcast, but Grand Theft Auto 5 has been in the top 20 for sales, and in a lot of cases in the top 10 for sales. And the game came out in 2013. And
what's happening is that kids who weren't, and this is something that I saw just last week, kids who were not allowed to play Grand Theft Auto when it came out are now, because it's been out for so long and because it's been around, are now starting to be allowed to play it. They're a little bit older, they're, they're early teens, and it's kind of hit a new, resurgence of popularity recently. I just heard it being talked about with a bunch of 13, 14-year-olds. I still don't think I want my 13, 14-year-old playing it. It's a little,
Oh, I don't either.
Rough around the edges.
I don't either, but this is one of those interesting things.
It's interesting because it goes through surges in popularity, and I think part of it is the content that they're putting out, and part of it is this group of kids that it was like the big hush-hush thing when it first came out. It's now their parents are kind of like, oh, it's been out for a while. It can't be that bad. And they're not going to play.
Or they were 10 when it came out and now they're 14.
Right.
And their parents are thinking a little bit differently because the game has been out for so long that it's still on store shelves. But nobody's talking about it as much. But the online component, and this is what's interesting from a value perspective. If you have a teenager that's looking to play this game and you're in, I'm not going to, you know your kid better than me. I am not one to judge about it. I'm certainly not going to have my kids play it as young teenagers. I don't think that they need to. However, one of the things that's interesting about it is if you buy the game, it comes with a free MMO. Mm-hmm. And it legitimately has a sequel to the game built into it, where people role play, and it's crazy. And they make a lot of money in that. So I think Grand Theft Auto Online has the possibility of doing some damage.
Is that your call?
I think it's got to be Overwatch. I strongly believe in Overwatch, but frankly, any of these could win, and I would not be stunned. Warframe started as just a random free-to-play game where you play a robot ninja, and it has been getting huge updates. It's a completely unrecognizable game now from when it started. I have not played it, but I've watched it, and it's super cool. We just don't play it here because it's a little bit violent.
But you're going to call Overwatch over Destiny?
I would take Overwatch over Destiny because I think Overwatch is a better game.
Okay. I mean,
having played both of them, I enjoyed Destiny and I still play it, but Overwatch is Overwatch. So that's my pick, Overwatch. Best mobile game. I'm just bringing this up because Monument Valley 2, folks. The nominees, in case you're curious: Fire Emblem Heroes, Super Mario Run, Old Man's Journey, Hidden Folks, which is a pretty good game actually. If you like, that Where's Waldo kind of finding little objects in a big field. It's black and white, which is kind of nice. But and it's cute. I love the art style. But Monument Valley 2 is the best mobile game that came out this year, without question. All right. But only because Animal Crossing Pocket Camp came out after the deadline. I think that would have beaten it. Let's see here. They have a VR category now, which is pretty neat. But we're going to ignore it. The best action adventure game: Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, Assassin's Creed Origins, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, and Horizon Zero Dawn.
It's such an odd, combo of action game. I get it.
So action adventure games are games that combine that combine combat with both traversal and puzzle solving. That's how they do that. And all 5 of these games do fit that. I think that this is going to be carried by Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. That's my thought.
Over Uncharted?
Yes.
And Assassin's Creed.
Uncharted: The Lost Legacy is basically just more Uncharted 4, which did not win this category last year, I do not believe. And yeah, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. That's my prediction. I could be wrong, but I'm going to go with it. What do you? So you think Assassin's Creed?
No, I think Legend of Zelda as well, but I'm just double-checking.
You're just double-checking me.
Yeah, I've got to make you second-guess yourself.
Fair enough. So, to the best role-playing game. I just want to say the name of one of these games, so we're going to go through it. First, South Park: The Fractured But Whole. Not for children. Final Fantasy 15. Yeah. Divinity: Original Sin 2, Nier Automata, and Persona 5. I think this one's going to be carried by Persona 5. As much as I want Final Fantasy 15 to win, Persona 5 is just a strictly better game. Best fighting game? I didn't even know that was going to be possible this year, but apparently they made a bunch of games. There were 5 fighting games that came out this year, so they have 5 nominees. Tekken 7, Nidhogg 2, which is like a fencing game, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Injustice 2, and ARMS. This is going to be won by either Tekken 7 or Injustice 2. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was not well loved.
No, it wasn't. Though ARMS has some... it is such a weird game. It's fun. It's so weird and it's so popular. And
Yeah.
it's very funny. It's just it's weird to control. It's weird to look at. The whole concept of it is weird, but people love it, and they're doing ARMS esports stuff now.
Yeah, they're trying. The community's kind of falling apart. I don't know what they're going to do to make the game come back, but but my prediction is it's going to be either Tekken 7 or Injustice 2. If I have to pick one, it's going to be Tekken.
I'll go with Tekken.
By the way, I don't know if you saw, but our boy Noctis from Final Fantasy 15, DLC character in Tekken 7.
Our boy? You mean
my boy?
Yeah, I was going to say.
How about we talk about best family game, shall we?
Yes.
And this is kind of where we're going to end it, I think. Best family game, and the nominees are Splatoon 2, Sonic Mania, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and Super Mario Odyssey.
Okay, it's going to be Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, no question. But how about that lineup? That's not a bad lineup of nominees for Family Game. Like, normally, Family Game of the Year has been like whatever Skylanders nonsense came out that year, whatever Disney Infinity nonsense came out this year. Nintendo's like, hey, check it out, we have a new console.
Right. Right.
I love it.
Some of those games, like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it's still Mario Kart 8. It's just, not much change in that one.
Yeah.
Splatoon 2 was a lot of fun. I was surprised that it didn't have as much of a following as Splatoon, but maybe people are just Splatooned out. I don't know,
man. I love it.
I like it. It's a fun game.
So that's all the nominees. There were some other categories. The trending gamer, I am not one of them, but maybe one day I will be. If you are interested, go to Google Trending Gamer Vote the Game Awards, and you'll get them, and you get the opportunity to either vote for one of your kids' favorite streamers, or Steve Spone, who runs the Able Gamers, which is a charity that helps provide modded controllers to people with disabilities, and Andrea Renee from What's Good Games. I know you're not the biggest fan. You just don't like it when they stream because they yell a lot.
Yeah, they do. But and then our kids watch the ones. Now there's video game streamers that are having TV shows of them streaming video game. It's so like far removed from what I ever anticipated life being like.
Yeah.
But they literally will sit there and watch TV shows now about streamers playing video games that are edited. It's just nuts.
It's the edited part that kind of weirds me out because, okay, so
but you've seen
one
the
of the
Disney
advantages.
shows
I get it. I get
watching.
that. But what I'm saying is that there's something to, I watch streamers too. I watch Twitch. I enjoy watching it. I think it's neat. But part of the reason I watch it is because I want to watch it live. Because it's interesting to see. For me, I like to see how they interact with the audience while it's live, because it's not produced, right? Like they have to think on their feet. It's almost like stand-up comedy in a way. But when it's scripted, or at the very least edited in post,
and stuff like that.
Yeah, if it's edited in post, that takes away some of that stuff.
But then again, this is the same mentality of this generation of children that will literally sit and watch other people open up toys for hours on end on the iPad. It's just very interesting.
You know what? I'm going to say this. I'm just going to throw this out there. If there was a guy who bought up and opened designer Transformers, I would watch that guy.
Right. You'd watch people open decks of Magic cards for hours on end, too.
I don't know about that. Unless they were doing something with them. I wouldn't watch them open Magic cards. That's just silly.
Well, our kids would.
Because they're children. I like to think that my time is a little bit more valuable. But I would definitely watch someone open up and unbox a Transformer. But we can argue about that later.
It's just funny. But yeah,
I think Steven Spohn of the Able Gamers deserves that win, being that he runs a charity that helps give people accessible controllers.
Yes.
The other nominees are Mike Grizzik, who is Shroud, Guy Beam, which is Dr. Disrespect, and Clint Lexa, who is Half Coordinated. All three of them are streamers. They might be your kid's favorite, and if they are, then maybe vote with them. My vote went to Andrea Renee because I listen to her on a whole bunch of podcasts every week. But I think Steven Spohn is also you can technically vote twice, one with your Google account, another one with your Facebook one. So I'll throw a vote to each of them. So that's the Game Awards. Like I said, I'm going to do a pre and post show for the Game Awards on our Facebook channel, or maybe our Instagram channel. Shout out at me if you have suggestions as to which one I should do. But we will do that, and we'll talk about the results next week. So until next time, this is Stephen and Jenna. We're signing off. You have yourself a wonderful week, and don't forget to get your family game on. Thank you very much for listening.
Bye everyone.
Thank you for listening to Engage, a family gaming podcast.
Thank you for listening. Tune in next week.